So, we are back and loading.
Yes, loading. Takes a while, doesn't it, on these old disk drives?
Oh, Jesus Christ, yes. C64 disk drive, an absolute horror.
Yeah,
the true reason for it, I still don't know. But at some point, I will find somebody who is knowledgeable about this. If any of the Patreon patrons who are watching this do know their way around with the history of the C64 hardware, especially the disk drive, and want to come on and tell us a bit about it, I welcome it.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Maybe explain to us why it's actually got a yet another 6502 CPU in it, so it's just as powerful as the main machine.
Well, the C64 doesn't have a 6502. It actually has, no, it's the next generation of that. The VIC had the 6502. It's actually got a slightly faster processor in it. I can't remember the exact model number. It's 6508 or something like that. Okay. Yeah. So it was a little bit more powerful than 6502, but and it had some other doohinkies. You have to remember Commodore owned MOS, the original developers of the 6502. So they could do all sorts of cool stuff.
Seems somebody's breaking into the UN military stockpile.
Yeah. And they're stealing the missiles. Now the question is, who's stockpiling? Who are the UN attacking with missiles? But yeah, blue helmets with missiles. Yay!
Just at least they called their agent just in time.
That's terrible. I'd like to know what the codename Jetta is supposed to sound. Maybe it means a Jetta, like the shitty car.
Yeah, it could be
Jetta. I have no idea. But yeah, the main reason I wanted this one on the list, I mean, it's 1991. We shouldn't be talking about C64 games at this point, but it's Chris Butler. And it's his last C64 game. And he made some of my very favorite games on the system, Ghosts and Goblins, Commando, but more importantly, his quasi-3D games, which were really the cream of the crop. The best 3D-ish engine on the system. Oh, Jetta is the name of the organization.
Yeah.
Dossus is the other guy.
So I wonder why it says 242 there.
Good question. That's got to be a reference to something.
Yeah. Could, of course, be the hacked version of... Maybe the crackers did something.
No. That's too much work for a standard hacker. They're not going to bother with that. No, but yeah, Chris Butler, this was his last game for the C64, and he was known for this 3D effect. Started with Space Harrier, and then Thunderblade, and of course, his best game, and for my money, the best single-player racer on the system, Power Drift. So, or Power Drift, right? Yeah, Power Drift. And so, yeah, and. Yeah, I'll admit this is not his best game. It's technically brilliant, but it's not the best game he ever made for the system. But you know about that as well as I do now.
I do.
Oh my God. Loading times were a bitch. Kids, loading times were a bitch. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, here we go. Only 4 minutes in and we're playing, so.
Yay!
Yeah. Getting
but
ready.
We got that really cool intro in between, so that was worth at least 30 seconds of that.
We did. But at least, mate, this is not Champions of the Rush, so all loading is done now, and it just works. It's actually playable.
This is true. Although I did originally say the first time we recorded this that there was no additional loading afterwards, but that's not true. There is more loading between these sequences, so. It's not all the graphics in one load like it was with Power Drift.
Okay.
That was a single load game.
Yeah.
But you see that
this is a 2 floppy disk game as well. So.
Oh, really? 2 floppies? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is a game I never played back in the day.
Okay.
Because I had already sold my Amiga about not even 6 months before this came out.
So this was a C64 game, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I sold my C64 to buy an Amiga. You're
Yes,
right. You're right. Yeah. Although, actually, when this came out, I would have still been working in a little computer store in Buenos Aires, where I would have been selling Commodore 64 software. Totally legit software, of course. Wink, wink,
Yes.
nudge, nudge. And this probably would have been a game that was advertised, but I probably just didn't recognize it because it hadn't appeared in any of the magazines we got. We got all the magazines way, way late.
Yeah.
And so because I didn't recognize it, I didn't bother picking it up. Probably picked up something like Dick Tracy that week. That was a waste of time because nobody was going to buy a copy of that crap.
So this is actually quite good. I mean, the racing is really good and tight. I like the controls on the shooting. I like the fact that you can't move the crosshairs just one fixed position. So you can't just race full speed ahead all the time. You need to slow down and try to get people into the crosshairs and shoot them. I'm still a bit confused about why I have to shoot everyone on the road, but apparently they're all bad guys.
This is true. I mean, if it was more like Chase HQ, you'd have to be avoiding the civilians.
Yep.
And I think here they were just like, you know what? Everybody likes blowing everybody up, so let's just let them blow everybody up. It's easier.
That is true, of course.
Yeah.
And one positive thing about that is then they're not in the way when you're driving. So.
Oh, that's true too. I mean, there's missiles. You saw the intro. It's about missiles. So you get a couple of casualties here and there. You're still saving millions. So it doesn't matter, right? It's ends
I
justify
have missiles
the means.
myself as well. If you hold down the button, you can shoot missiles instead.
Yeah, if you haven't blown them all in the first screen. Yeah.
I was just getting so excited.
Now, why is there a U.S.-looking cop car? That looks like a cop car, the blue one.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And then there's the fuel truck.
So when the road splits, it's important to pick the right way, right?
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to go into a tunnel and there's going to be a wall in the tunnel. Why somebody would build a tunnel with a wall in it, God only knows.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah, for a C64, this is super smooth. Now, you played this on original hardware. Did you play it on a CRT or were you playing on a modern screen?
So I played it on the CRT. It looks far better.
I was about to say, that would smooth out a lot of the jaggedy edges on the road and stuff.
Yeah, it makes the ground look actual brown instead of this dithering effect or whatever we're seeing here on the LCD version. So.
Yeah, that was always one of the things. I mean, all of Chris Butler's driving sequences, wherever you see a road, it's the same routine. Now, this is the best version of it, but that was always sort of a hallmark. You knew it was that engine when you saw the jaggedy edges.
So I like that I've got bullet holes in my windshield now.
Yeah,
to reflect the damage I've taken. Oh, I took the wrong way.
You took the wrong way, and you're about to find out that there's a wall in this cave right there. It's almost like there's usually some cars that you need to follow, and they'll show you the right way. But the fork that you went down before this one, there were no cars on the road. So go figure. But this way of portraying the damage, even though it says 100% damage at the bottom, is really cool. Very reminiscent of Stunt Car Racer.
Yes.
If you remember that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, indeed.
Okay.
Oh, that was it.
So that was your, 9 minutes if we don't count all loading time, but that was your 7 minutes in heaven. Okay, let's get back to our audio recording. So, goodbye.